back to Law Made Simple. I'm your host, Pempo Male, and today we are looking at a matrimonial case. I thought it was a good idea to look at this case because it kind of affects a lot of people. So, yeah, because it has to do with marriage, divorce, and all that. So the description, or rather the citation of the case, is going to be the title, or it's going to be in the description or somewhere. But in short, this is Kajali versus Kajali. So the brief facts of this case are that the couple had been married for over 20 years and the marriage had broken down and they all just wanted out. And in an effort to avoid a long, bitter court battle, they decided to just do the logical thing and write up a consent order. So a consent order is just a document where you state that you're consenting to this, to the terms of that appearing in the consent order. And in their consent order, they actually did a pretty good job, I would say, because they mentioned the whole custody of the kids, how the property will be distributed. So they had everything in the consent order. And they presented the order to the court just so they can make it official, expecting that it would be approved. But Justice Fiona Male, who was the judge in this case, asked the question to say, does the law in Malawi even allow a marriage to be dissolved by mere consent? So the lawyers argued that it should be allowed because the family is trying to avoid all this distress that comes with the whole court process and then the cost. So I feel like it was a pretty solid argument. Anyway, Justice, Fiona Male explained about the fundamental legal principle in marriage. And she said a marriage is not a simple contract. Unlike a business deal where you can just walk away from by a mere agreement, like, okay, we're done, bye. She said a marriage is a unique contract, it's a special kind of contract. So when getting married, when you're forming a marriage, you need a recognized authority, like a pastor, a registrar, to make that marriage official. So she said, in the same way, you need a recognized authority to dissolve the marriage. So you need the court to dissolve the marriage because this is not just a simple contract. This involved the state. So you can't just do it by just the two of you to say, okay, we're done. She mentioned that this is a special kind of contract. So under our act, the court must satisfy itself that there was real grounds to have this marriage dissolved. It must have irretrievably broken down. What happened to our couple here? The consent order wasn't completely thrown out. The court happily approved the parts about child maintenance and property distribution. And it's also encouraged that couples have to settle this matters themselves. But for the divorce itself, the trial had to proceed. Both parties here presented their evidence on adultery, and they were also both claiming cruelty from the other. And ultimately, the judge found that these grounds were proven, and they were enough for a divorce. So another important thing we see in this case is that the new the new Marriage, Divorce and Family Relations Act was also used in a marriage that happened before this act was enacted. So I think that's also something we can note. And the key takeaway here is in Malawi, you and your spouse can agree on the consequences of the divorce. But the divorce itself requires a judge to determine that, okay, the legal grounds actually exist so that we can dissolve this marriage. You cannot just DIY your divorce. So the court holds the final key. So that's the case, Kachali versus Kachali. If you found this helpful, please share this podcast. I'm Pempomale, and this was Law Made Simple. Until next time.